Hello students, welcome to this heat transfer. Today we are going to discuss about module 3, that is convection. In that forced convection we are going to discuss. So already you know that what is mean by convection. So the convection is happening because of according to Newton's law of cooling, the rate of heat transfer increases as area increases. Okay, so that Q is equal to HA delta T. So here the convective heat transfer coefficient is a very important role in this convection phenomena. So suppose if you take a plate, having hot plate having temperature 50 degrees centigrade and exposed to the atmosphere, so there is no any external agency of source you are providing, simply by naturally it will be cooling the plate. So without any external agency, such a convection we call it as a natural convection or free convection. But on the other side, so for the same size of plate having temperature is 50 degrees centigrade, and if you are blowing the air onto the plate at a velocity of 5 meter per second and temperature is 20 degrees centigrade, so obviously the rate of cooling is increased, so rate of heat transfer is also more. So this is how you are going to increase the rate of cooling or rate of heat transfer by convection. So this fluid motion is enhance the heat transfer since it is bringing hotter and cooler chunks of the fluid into contact. So initiating the higher the rates of conduction at a greater the number of sites in the fluid. Therefore, the rate of heat transfer through a fluid much higher the convection than the by conduction. So higher the fluid velocity, the higher the rate of heat transfer. As you know that if your blower having high speed and velocity of the air to the plate, hot plate, it is higher the velocity, so obviously the rate of heat transfer is more. Next, convective heat transfer having following parameter. It depends on some of the parameters. One is properties like dynamic viscosity and thermal conductivity, density and specific heat. And in case of the fluid velocity, so also by velocity, if you want to know the properties, so that is V is also very important. And depending upon the geometry and roughness of the solid surface, that also it will be considered for the convective heat transfer, whether it is laminar flow or turbulent flow. So as I told earlier, this convective heat transfer mechanism based on the Newton's law of cooling, that is Q convection is equal to HA Ts minus T infinity, where T infinity is the temperature of the fluid sufficiently far from the surface. So due to this temperature difference, we can expect more rate of heat transfer. So now you can see the no temperature jump condition. So by the solid block temperature of the following over stationary surface, there is no slip condition. A fluid and solid surface will have some temperature, same temperature at the point of contact, known as no temperature jump condition. Here we can see the figure. At the bottom of this surface there is a zero velocity at the surface. So the above here we can see connected to the relative velocity of the fluid layers, and the right side uniform approach of the velocity is we can see now. Now this phenomena, convective heat transfer, we can measure, mainly we can analyze by the dimensionless number like Nusselt number. What is meant by Nusselt number? The Nusselt number is the ratio of HLC divided by K. So HL by K, generally we can express it as HL by K, where H is the convective heat transfer coefficient and L is the characteristic length and K is the thermal conductivity of the fluid. Here in the figure you can see there is a temperature difference between fluid and surface, and T2 minus T1, and L is the length, and you can see the Q, the heat transfer. So once if you know the convective heat transfer, that is H into delta T, so now we can write by conduction also K into delta T by L. By taking this ratio, convected heat transfer and conduction heat transfer, that ratio will give the HL by K relation. This number is called as Nusselt number. This is an dimensionless number. There is not having any units. Even you can check it, the unit of H is watt per meter square Kelvin and L is meter, and again the thermal conductivity of the unit is watt per meter Kelvin. So here both numerator and denominator get cancelled, so there is no any unit for this quantity. And this Nusselt number has following significance. One is, if the enhancement of the heat transfer through a fluid layer as a result of convection relative to the conduction across the same fluid layer. Suppose if the Nusselt number is far greater than 1, for a fluid layer, the more effective the convection. Suppose if the Nusselt number is exactly equal to 1 for a fluid layer, the heat transfer across the layer is by pure conduction. So from this you understand that, so if the Nusselt number is 1 means there is no convection is happening, so it is purely by conduction mode of heat transfer. If the Nusselt number is less than 1, so then we have to think, so that is the case. What happens if the Nusselt number is less than 1, then we have to go for this analysis for the laminar or turbulent flow. So again there are different parameters, correlations we have to use and find out the Nusselt number. Now again the external flow and internal flow will be there. Suppose the fluid is entering into the pipe, the inlet flow and the air, suppose water, and over this pipe and the air is flowing by externally. So what we can see, so the flow of an unbounded fluid over surface, and in internal the flow is completely bounded by solid surface. By this combination, so we have to find out what is the convective heat transfer. So here again there are two types of flow, laminar flow and turbulent flow. So laminar means smooth and orderly. The flow is a high viscosity of the fluid such as oil and at low velocities. But in case of internal flow, it is low viscosity fluid such as air at a high velocity. So these flow regimes greatly influence the heat transfer rates and the required power for pumping. So you can see that how the flow will be taking place at the different regimes. Okay. So next one is another dimensionless number is Reynolds number. So Reynolds number is the ratio of inertia forces to the viscous force in the fluid. So you know that the relation is VLC divided by mu. So and also we can write it as rho VLC divided by mu. Okay. So these by taking these two relation we can find out the Reynolds number. So this Reynolds number helps to find out whether the flow is laminar or turbulent. This is also one of the dimensionless number. So then effect of the turbulence. So in the year 1937, the scientists Taylor and Van Karman found the turbulence effects in the fluid flow in a object or surfaces or object. So the turbulence in irregular motion, which generally makes it an appearance in fluids, gases or liquids, when they flow past solid surfaces, or even when a neighboring stream of same fluid pass one over the other. And even for the turbulent fluid, the motion in an irregular condition of flow in which various quantities shows the random variation with the time and space coordinates. So the statistically distinct average value of can be discounted. Here you can see eddies form during the flow, the transport momentum and energy and species enhanced, and here you can see the turbulent and laminar flow. Okay, by taking the similar for the temperature and constant gradients. So for turbulence is desirable, however the increase in wall shear stresses will have adverse effect of increasing the pump or fan power. So here one dimensional, two dimensional, three dimensional flow we can see in the figure. So here in picture it shows that one dimensional flow in a circular pipe. So how the velocity profile remains is unchanged in the pipe. So okay, so along the radius of the pipe along the z direction, so how the velocity profile is going to be appear. So velocity of the boundary layer, so this is very important. So even if you can streamline of this, okay, so how the turbulence is occur. Initially it is the laminar, so on the surface when it is enter into the surface, so initially it will be laminar, and later it will take transition and it convert into turbulence. So these are all schematic diagram of the velocity boundary layer of the fluid. Okay, so we can find out the Vx is equal to at delta, then the velocity is 0.99 u infinity. So this is how for the analysis part of the velocity boundary layer. So now the friction force per unit area we call it as sheet stress. So that can be shear stress, and we can note it by mu dou u by dou y at y is equal to 0. Even to calculate the scale coefficient, so the t tau is equal omega is equal to Cf into rho u square infinity divided by 2. So Cf is nothing but a friction coefficient, okay, and the friction force over the entire surface if you want to calculate, so Ff is equal to Cf AES into rho u square divided by u by 2. So these equations are available in the heat transfer data handbook. So depending upon the type of flow and coefficient friction, you can choose the formulas. And this is the thermal boundary layer. So delta T at any location along the surface at which the value becomes T minus Ts is equal to 0.99 T infinity minus Ts. So at this adjacent of the point, so you can observe that okay, this point we can consider for the Ts surface temperature, that is thermal boundary layer. So Ts plus 0.99 to T infinity minus Ts we can found here. So now another one dimensionless number is Prandtl number. So the Prandtl number is nothing but the molecular diffusivity of the momentum to its molecular diffusivity of the heat. So let us we discuss what are the significance of Prandtl number. So the shape of temperature profile in the thermal boundary layer dictates the convection heat transfer between the solid surface and fluid flowing over it. And second one is in the flow over a heated or cooled surface, both velocity and thermal boundary layers will be developed simultaneously. And last one is nothing that the fluid velocity will have a strong influence on the temperature profile. The development of the velocity boundary layer related to the thermal boundary layer will have strong effect on the convective heat transfer. So by these conditions, the Prandtl number will decide the based on the molecular diffusivity of the momentum as well as molecular diffusivity of the heat. This is also one of the dimensionless number. So this Prandtl number depends upon the type of fluids. This ranging from fluid to fluid. So for example, for liquid metals you take, the Prandtl number is 0.004 to 0.030. For gases 0.7 to 1, and water is 1.7 to 13.7. So these are the certain set of values of the Prandtl number for different fluids. So these numbers are required values for the solving the problems. So wherever it is required, so that in that case we have to use that values. Okay, here again for the Prandtl number, delta divided by delta T is equal to Prandtl number to the n. So where n is the positive exponent, and this Prandtl number is almost approximately 1. So for the gases, both momentum and heat dissipate through the fluid at about the same rate. So heat diffuses very quickly in liquid metals, that is the Prandtl number is less than 1. Then the diffuses very slowly in oils as Prandtl number is greater than 1 related to the momentum. Therefore, thermal boundary layer is much thicker for liquid metals and much thinner for the oil relative to the velocity boundary layer. And Prandtl number we can write as V by A. And next one is Stanton number. Stanton number, that again it gives the dimensionless heat transfer coefficient. It measures the ratio of heat transferred into a fluid to the thermal capacity of the fluid, and this relation gives H divided by rho CPV, or we can write it as Nusselt number divided by Reynolds number into Prandtl number. So the combination of all these three dimension number, it originates or develops a Stanton number. This Reynolds analogy is limited to the Prandtl number is equal to 1, and this value is applicable over a wide range of Prandtl number by adding the Prandtl number correlations. And here is some of the values of various group of dimensionless number and how it is interpretation in depth on the problem. So here these are all available from the heat transfer data handbook. Thanks for watching this video. I hope you understand this concept. So in the next slides we will solve the problem based on this. Thank you.